Tomlinson opened up about how he still isn't ready to forgive Zayn Malik for how he treated One Direction after he quit the group in 2015. What's up, you guys? It's Drew Dorsey here with Clevver News, and we all know when Zayn left One Direction and signed a solo recording contract with RCA Records, he burned some bridges with the other members of the former boy band, especially with Louis Tomlinson. Louis and Zayn actually used to be very close friends before Zayn left the group, but once Zayn left, things got bitter between these two, really bad. They started to shade each other in interviews and even got into that iconic Twitter tiff where Louis made fun of Zayn for taking a MacBook pic. He dissed Zayn saying, quote, "Remember when you were 12 and used to think those Mac filters for your pictures were cool? Haha, some people still do. Ha!" To which Zayn responded and said, quote, "Remember when you had a life and stopped making bitchy comments about mine? It is never cute when petty boy band drama goes public." And this fight came right after Zayn deleted all references to One Direction from his Twitter account, so maybe Louis was upset about that. I don't know. This is why we need to talk about our feelings before heading to Twitter. But that was only the beginning of their beef. Earlier this year, Louis spoke to The Sun and described his relationship with Zayn by saying, quote, "Truthfully, it never really got better." He said, quote, "I had a couple of calls with him after I lost my mom, and all the boys had agreed to come to that performance, and he didn't show, so that really bugged me. It was just seeing everyone there, Harry, Niall, and Liam. That was what I needed that night, that support." And the performance he was talking about was his X Factor performance of Just Hold On, which he performed just a few days after his mom passed away from leukemia, and his former bandmates showed up to support him. And apparently, the bitter fight between Louis and Zayn has never really healed. In a new interview with Metro UK, Louis revealed that Zayn, quote, "talked a lot of shit after leaving him, Harry Styles, Liam Payne, and Niall Horan behind." At the time, Zayn left the group during their world tour, citing stress as the factor causing him to leave. And during the interview, when Louis was asked if he could forgive Zayn, he said, quote, "I just don't think I am mature enough, even in my own head, to give that a real answer. At the moment, I am still pretty mad about the whole thing." He continued on and said, quote, "I don't think he handled it very well, but never say never. Who knows? He chatted a lot of shit in the early days. I thought One Direction was pretty good." And the smack Louis is referring to is the shade Zayn spewed towards One Direction's first album without him, called Made in the AM. When asked about the album at the time, Zayn said, quote, "I'll be honest, I thought the first single was quite cool. I heard the second single and yeah, I didn't buy the album." But it seems like there is still some hope for Louis to forgive Zayn. Louis got deeply personal and revealed that when his mom died, her dying wish was for him to reconcile with Zayn. Louis recalls her saying, quote, "You've got to get back in contact with Zayn. Life's too short." And 1D fans are still really torn up about this fight. Some people want them to reconcile, with one person tweeting, quote, "Me locking Zayn and Louis in a room until they agree to talk things out and make up." Another said, quote, "Dear Louis, Liam, Harry, Niall, and Zayn, please rewatch One Direction, This Is Us, make up, become a band again, and go on tour, because that's what I think we all need to get through the rest of 2019. And another fan said, quote, "Can Louis and Zayn make up already and be best friends again?" But other fans are still taking sides. One person said, quote, "The only time Zayn talked about Louis when he went solo was to wish him luck on his future, support him over his loss, and to express his excitement over his son, yet it's 2019, and Louis Tomlinson still trying to do the most to make Zayn look like the bad guy and twist everything." Another said, quote, "Okay, so I'm gonna shut this down before people start this shit. Louis isn't mad that Zayn left because Zayn leaving was good for his mental health. Louis is mad that Zayn talked shit afterwards, and let's not even go into when Zayn wasn't there for him. The end, thanks." But Louis isn't the only One Direction member talking about their relationships with the other former bandmates. Liam revealed to The Mirror that the only other former member he still regularly speaks to is Louis. He has been there for Louis through both his mom and sister's deaths, and Liam said, quote, "I speak to Louis all the time. Louis is great. He's doing very well. We've always had a good connection in the way that we were both trying to manage the band together, and that's followed into life. And obviously, he has been through a hell of a lot, so I've tried to be there for him as much as possible, and so does he me." Both Louis and Liam are also dads to young children, so I'm sure they are able to bond over fatherhood as well. But Liam previously admitted that at the start of the band's career, he, quote, "absolutely hated Louis. Apparently they went through a power struggle where they both wanted to be the leader of the group. But obviously they ended up leaning on each other instead of competing with each other." Liam explained that dealing with the pressure that comes with being shot to fame was made easier at the time by being with his bandmates. Liam said, quote, "There were 5 of us that knew how each other were feeling. It's harder by yourself. But when it comes to the other members of 1D, Liam doesn't chat to them all that often. He said, quote, "I speak to Niall every so often. I haven't spoken to Harry in a long time now, and Zayn left, so I haven't seen him since then." He continued on about Zayn and said, quote, "I always feel like Zayn didn't really feel being there. If that makes sense, we all had a good time. There were moments when it was absolute bliss, but then obviously there were moments where it was like, this is awful. For him, I just think there were more moments where he didn't really enjoy what he was doing. Fair play to him. He went off and did his own thing, and he's doing really well." So it doesn't really seem like there's any beef between Liam and Zayn, at least. But it doesn't seem like there is much hope of a reconciliation for One Direction, as much as I'd like that to happen. This drama just looks like it runs too deep. Do you think there's hope for One Direction to ever get back together? And what do you think about what Louis said about Zayn? Let me know what you think down in the comments below. After that, be sure to hit that subscribe button and click that bell so you don't miss any of our new stories. Then click right over here for more entertainment news. Thanks for hanging out with me. I'm Drew Dorsey, and I'll see you next time.